Shout out to Alana Trotman for sending me the story, and I'm glad that I have someone who is subscribed to my channel who lives over in the UK, because they can give a perspective of the racism that goes on over there, whether overt or covert, since they are over there, and they can say, tell their experiences or tell about the stuff that goes on over there that we may not hear over here in America. And this story right here that I'm bringing to you is a perfect example of that. And it actually reminds me of a story that came out of the States. But once I get into it, I'll tell you what it reminds me of. So as you can see, this is the cover of a magazine called Coco Girl Magazine. It's based out of the UK. If you see right there in the top right corner where the heart is, it has the price of £3.99. I'm not sure how you would translate that into dollars, but it says new, the UK's first black girls magazine. And they also, when I was looking this up, they do have one for the boys. It's called Coco Boy magazine. So this is basically a branch off of that. But sorry about that. I had to pause the video real quick because I had a very important call I had to take. But anyway, I am back. Hopefully I didn't completely lose my train of thought, considering I'm not even 2 minutes into the video. But basically what you have going on is now you have these PC individuals, and I can tell they're PC just by the language that they're using, are upset because this magazine is in their eyes creating divisiveness. Now, this magazine was created by this woman by the name of Serlina Bird, who is from South London, and she was trying to find a magazine for her daughter. So she basically launched this magazine called Coco Girl, and I want to say that this little girl is her daughter. And of course, now PC is in an uproar all about it. It's amazing to me that PC loves to say that they don't like diversity in a lot of things, but they want diversity when it's black centered, because they want to. This goes all. Bill Burr was on point when he said that, when he called it the woke movement was supposed to be for, he said, people of color, but we're just going to throw black people up in there. When he said that white women stepped their Gucci footed heels over the fence of oppression. This is exactly what he was talking about. And them Karens got so uptight and so upset at the truth. Let's get into it. Good Morning Britain viewers criticized a mother who launched the UK's first ever magazine for black girls. Today, as they said, the name is derogatory and the concept is divisive. Let me also add in there, to those divestors out there that claim that black men are their enemy, notice that it's not any black men that are against this magazine. I actually applaud this woman for creating this magazine because she wanted to see something for black girls. And she wanted to see something that was representative of her daughter. But notice it's white women, your sisters, who are the ones that are the main ones upset about this. And I'm going to read some of the comments too. Selena Boyd from South London appeared on the program this morning and told presenters Charlotte Hawkins and Kate Garraway she had founded Coco Girl after struggling to find appropriate magazines for her daughter, Faith, who was 6. Serlina, who works as an art editor, explained, when you grow up, a lot of black children grow up and they don't see themselves in media and books. It is important for black children to have a publication that spoke to them. Not only do you not really see them in media and books like that, but you also don't see a good positive representation of them. They usually are very stereotypical. But viewers were left unimpressed by the idea, with many taking to Twitter to question whether the publication was divisive. One commented, "What a hypocrite. How can you call the magazine Coco? Surely if we're going to start saying what's right and what's wrong, then that is derogative." Another wrote, "The Coco Girl magazine is just another example of division. I don't understand why these things are being praised so highly." These are white people, mainly white women, who are saying this. You can tell that it's them because you probably won't find a lot of white men or any other male getting upset about this. Like I said, the tone just oozes white women, especially since this is a magazine geared towards black girls. So it would look kind of weird and off if another man was upset about this. Surely it would be better to have more black kids in existing magazines. That's proper inclusion. After struggling to find any magazine that represents her 6-year-old daughter, Selena decided to create her own. See, even they get upset when black people create their own things that's geared to black people because they want their hand in it. If this was a magazine that was quote unquote diverse, I bet you if this was called Swirl magazine, not so much promoting interracial dating, but representing the diversity of girls, they wouldn't have nothing wrong with it. And you can tell by the way that they have phrased all of their comments. She says she struggled to find anything appropriate for her daughter to read during lockdown, saying, "I was surprised. For me, it was thinking there would be something out there, then looking in the supermarket and seeing there was nothing out there." She continued, "My dad has this saying, if you have a problem, sell the solution." Selena went on to explain she began the magazine as a lockdown activity, but quickly realized there was demand in the market for the publication. So I'm going to read to you some of the comments that these individuals wrote. At GMB, the Coco Girl magazine is just another example of division. I don't understand why these things are being praised so highly. Surely it would be better to have more black kids in existing magazines. That's proper inclusion. Isn't bringing a magazine out for black people making a bigger divide between black and white people, which is what has been happening a lot the past few months? Thought the whole point was equality. A hashtag GMB. And you can tell that these are white women because I'm looking at the names. These are all female names, and they just... Let me continue. At GMB, how can you call a magazine Coco? Pretty sure there isn't one called Milky. Hashtag All Lives Matter. These are some of the most entitled, spoiled brats on the planet. These are the same ones that don't even like quote unquote diversity, but they'll call for diversity when black people are doing their own thing. Isn't that's an amazing paradigm that we live in? Magazines are for all races. Black people's, they said peoples and not people, make race an issue by bringing it up all the time. No one else is bothered. Clearly you are. That entire statement that this Steph Latham, who I'm guessing her name is Stephanie, made a whole contradictory comment. Like everything that she said there was a contradiction of the previous sentence. Let me read that again. Magazines are for all races. Black people's, those are her words, make race an issue by bringing it up all the time. No one else is bothered. Clearly you're bothered. I can tell by what she typed. And she says black people bring up race all the time. Let's continue. This other one said, "Come on now, hashtag GMB. What a hypocrite. How can you call a magazine Coco? Surely if we're going to start saying what's right and what's wrong, then that's derogative." Someone says, "I wouldn't dream of buying my daughter a magazine for white girls only. What a shitty, divisive idea." How many magazines are out there where it has mainly white women on the cover or throughout the pages? I mean, we can go through all of them, like Elle magazine, Vogue, People, Teen. Shoot, even on a lot of those gossip rags, it has white women or on the cover of it. This lady creates one magazine geared towards black girls, and it has a black girl on the cover. And they lose their whatever's left up there, because I don't know if it's a mine, because I don't think they've even had one. Just space and air. That's all that's there. Airheads. Let's see. A magazine just for black girls? At Kate Garraway, saying she's shocked there isn't one already. It really is frightening what's happening to the West. Y'all, these are your typical palm-colored liberal women. The same type of women Bill Burr went in on in his SNL monologue 2 weeks ago. The same ones that got mad at him for saying that. The kind of stuff, what he said in relation to what they're saying right here. Those are the same exact women. And that's exactly why many white men don't want to be with their ass right now and are leaving their ass for an Asian woman. Let's continue. She said, "It started out as a fun project, something I thought I could show family and friends. People started saying, 'This is great. You've got to show this to the world.' Once I did, it just started to go crazy. Everybody wanted a copy. It just been an amazing journey." And after Charlotte questioned if the magazine would be good for all children to be able to see, Selena replied, "It's so hard for black authors. They will tell you to get their books out there." I'm surprised that these PC liberal women didn't come out and say that this was white genocide. It could have been, but those were just some of the comments that I've read. Those weren't all of them. That's why we decided to not just do Coco Girl, but Coco Boy. It's all about culture and inspiring them. Okay, so this one came first and the boy came second. I thought that it was the other way around, but maybe I had it mixed up. But either way, dope concept. She continued, I wanted to use this platform to make these amazing black role models that are not seen a lot, so that children can actually look at what they can achieve in life. Meanwhile, Selena said her daughter absolutely loves the magazine and has gotten involved with the editorial process. She explained faith is really quite instrumental in what goes on in goes into the magazine. She started a new page called My Best Friend and Me, and this is for children to speak about their best friends and their cultural backgrounds. It's about knowing about everybody's culture as well. She added, it's exciting to see her skills going into the editorial side of things and see how confidence grows as well. But viewers were less than impressed with the publication, with some saying the magazine was divisive. One wrote, isn't bringing the magazine out for black people making a bigger divide between black and white people, which is what's been happening in the last few months. Thought the whole point was equality. Meanwhile, other questions if the name was appropriate. How can you call a magazine? Okay, those are basically comments that I've already read. Now I'm going to read some of the comments that these other individuals left. Divisive. Coco, seriously? Now, mind you, all of these comments are coming out of the UK. Y'all are getting a glimpse of the racism that goes on in the UK when on a more liberal scale. She can smell the money, nothing more, nothing less. This makes me laugh. The wokes are never happy with anything. Coco Girl and Coco Boy, what about the other 100 plus genders? This is discrimination. 100 plus genders. Y'all, I did not know that there was 100 plus genders in the world. But this is the high IQ, y'all. The last I checked, there was 2 genders. But you know, in 2020, let them tell it. It's 100 plus. Let's see. Positive discrimination only leads to more discrimination. That is your problem out of the society that you live in. It says, so Uncle Ben's rice is wrong, but this is right. Strange world we live in. It says, there are very few comics and magazines aimed at boys. Perhaps too many of them are illiterate. Okay, we see where that person is headed. I'm bringing out a comic for white boys. See, this is the problem. Look at that comment right there. I'm bringing out a comic for white boys. Since the beginning of comics, most of them were geared towards white boys and white men. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is running like a well-oiled machine and has been for the last few decades. Actually, it's kind of getting off course, but y'all get the picture. See, here's the thing. When they can't come up with a logical argument to go against what this woman is doing, they make asinine comments like that. I'm bringing out a comic for white boys. Like you'll be the first one to ever do it? So I guess Superman and Batman and the Avengers, Marvel, DC, they had no hand in that happening. And I'm almost certain when they came out with those comics, they didn't come out the next time and say, well, this is a comic for white boys. They probably have said it, but I'm trying to make a point here about how ridiculous that comic was. And on top of that, this isn't even a comic book. This isn't a comic book for black girls. It's a magazine for black girls, you dummy. Let's see here. I really don't care what she calls her magazine, but the point is, if someone started a magazine exclusively for white girls, which they've done before, what would be said? Nothing. Just like nothing has ever been said. But like I said, the minute that this black woman came out with a magazine because she wanted to show her representation for her daughter, they lost their mind. See, here's the thing. We can do for ourselves all day. But the problem is people like the ones in the comment section whose comments I'm having the disdain of reading right now. They are in the way. They have always been in the way. They are the problem. And they wonder why the world dislikes them. Hell, the sun doesn't even like them. Maybe we should all just drop them off near the equator and see how long they last. They said, it's the same as Black History Month. And for the record, I thought MLK and Nelson Mandela were great men. I love Tamala Motown, Marvin Gaye. Wait, Tamala Motown? Who is that? Marvin Gaye, Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, and many more. But this kind of stuff creates a divide. So this person, to hide their racism, they started naming all black icons, while also being a racist POS at the same time. Y'all, this is your typical PC liberal white woman. This is an own goal for the woke crowd. Hilarious. If you obsess about your race, don't be surprised when others do. So because black people love themselves and obsess because of their blackness, now you are supposed to be mad that we're obsessed with us. See, there's the other part. They hate when we love ourselves because we're supposed to love them. We're supposed to just give all of ourselves to them, no matter what. It's a reason I'm reading these comments, because I don't think some black people really know the mind of a liberal white woman. Some do, but many don't. And what you're hearing is just that. And what's crazy is all these comments I'm reading have so many likes and very little dislikes. And if you speak against what they're saying, it'll be the opposite. You'll have very little likes and a boatload of dislikes. But these are all people commenting from the UK because it has their location next to their name. Not one person is here in the States. So you're getting an across the river, across the pond, abroad, liberal white woman. Don't think that they're just limited to here in the States. They're global. This says, I'm long-sighted. Can I have a special magazine for me and other long-sighted women, as women's magazines never take glasses wearing into account with hairdos and makeup, etc.? I'm not serious about wanting a magazine, but as you see, I can find a reason to demand one very easily. We're talking about this woman wanting representation for her daughter, and this bitch is talking about her damn vision. Which I'm sure they may have magazine for women like her who have long vision, if she bothered to look. Oh, well, maybe she can't. Let's see. All lives matter regardless of color or race. How did they make this into an all lives matter thing? I wonder how a magazine for white girls would go down. I already gave several examples. They're actually heavily praised. As a foster carer, we've had children from most religions and with a variety of skin tones. We treat all the same. They come on holiday with us and enjoy every activity there is. They are children. Discrimination does not exist in our house. In this madness is dividing our country even more. That comment right there, if you didn't know that this was coming from the UK, you would swear it came from the US. There is no different from the BBC pushing divisive ideas on CBeebies. I don't know what that is. So, Lana, if you heard that comment, can you tell me what CBeebies is? It sounds very what's the word? Derogatory. But I'm not going to read any more comments. Y'all get the picture. What we go through here in the States is the same thing they go through over there in the UK on the liberal side of things. Like, they literally turned this thing into something that it was not. They couldn't even bring themselves to congratulate this woman or give her a shout out. They had to go and show their rhesus Neanderthalic ass for the world on this platform known as the Daily Mail, to air out their grievances about why they felt that this woman creating a magazine in representation of her daughter, as well as black boys, was so divisive, and how she's going to ruin the nation and how she's going to ruin the world. All this diversity. But like I said, goes back to my original point. They only love diversity when it includes them. See, this is where their lines cross with diversity. For them, diversity means that they have to be included in everything we do. But they hate it when we do things for ourselves that does not include them, because society at large, and I'm not just talking about here in the States, but across the globe, has told them that anywhere that they go, every step that they take, they are welcomed. And if they feel they aren't welcome, all we're going to do is cry, throw a tantrum, moan, complain, and bitch until we get our way. That is a textbook narcissistic, spoiled brat. And PC exhibits that type of behavior to a T. No matter where on the globe they lay their head. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments.